It is Sunday, and I'm off to work. So we'll let the car do its thing. Turn the music down, the radio. So you may or may not have noticed, I haven't done a video this week. That is purely because I haven't had the time. Well, I sort of had the time, but I plan to do body language video on Wednesday, which I've been doing. I've been asked to look into a guy called Scott Avery. So I've done the research on one particular video, which will be the next body language video to come out. It's always good to practice reading skills. It's quite a complex story, so I've thought about making it into a bit of a series. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in. Just covering the story and giving my thoughts on it. Why didn't I make that video? I had every intentions on making that video on Tuesday. I was off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I did overtime on Tuesday. I got asked, struck a deal, and so I worked Tuesday. I could have still made it, but this is where the ADHD and autism come in. I had it set in my mind to do it on Tuesday. Because I worked on Tuesday unexpectedly, I didn't make the video. And if I'm honest, the bus videos I find a bit boring to make, because unless something happens, it's pretty much the same every day. So I've got to admit, I am struggling to make bus content. Again, if anyone pops on, I'm not going to really be able to see, because obviously I'm driving and I can't read the chat because obviously I'm driving. I will try and have a look when I get to work. What I have noticed, though, over the last month, I suppose, I've done a video quite recently about driver's etiquette, and I can't remember whether I put in that video about courtesy, but I have noticed that courtesy towards other drivers is lacking somewhat at the moment. Now, I don't know if the training has changed, or I honestly don't know what it is. But when I trained as a bus driver, part of that training was you were told and trained to let a bus out of a junction or cross a junction, and let the bus out of a bus stop. Um, just common courtesy. Um, you don't block the road. Like if you're early or you've run light somewhere, you wait in a place where the road is wide enough for other buses to get past you. Common courtesy. Over the last month, I would say, and I honestly don't know if something's happened or what's going on, but I have noticed that more and more bus drivers aren't following these unspoken rules. They're not showing courtesy to other bus drivers. Now, this isn't a thing for any particular company. Um, Courtesy towards other drivers, we're all out doing the same job, doing the same, suffering the same stresses. We've all got time schedules and all the rest of it. So you help each other out, regardless of company. You know, the company's for the management to deal with. You know, the workforce should be united, regardless of company. Um, but yeah, I've had buses not letting me turn at junctions, or drivers, I should say. I've had drivers not letting me turn at junctions. I've had drivers not letting me out of bus stops. Um, Drivers laying up where they shouldn't be laying up, narrowing down the road and making you squeeze past them. And one particular driver had a bit of an attitude with it. Um, there's no need for that. With other drivers, there's just no need for that. So yeah, I don't know if something's happened at Brighton and Hove, or well, I know things are always happening at Brighton and Hove, but it is mainly Brighton and Hove drivers that are doing this. Um, that I've noticed. Obviously, I'm only speaking from personal experience. Nothing's official. Um, it's purely my opinion on what I see. But I do wonder um, if something is going on that has just altered the driver's mindset a little bit. I mean, there's always been an air of elitism. I bought into it myself years ago um, because I suppose this is where confidence comes from as well. Um, because Brighton and Hove are on more money, some um, see it as Brighton and Hove are the best company. Um, from driving standards, driving ability, right the way through to everything. Whereas, in actual fact, the only thing that Brighton and Hove are the best at is the pay. Um, I've worked for Stagecoach, I've worked for Brighton and Hove, I've worked for Compass, and when it comes to routes, driving the routes, Brighton and Hove is the easiest by a long way. The routes are just easy to drive. You've seen, um, or you might have seen, there's a playlist for bus routes. So if you're interested in taking a look, go and take a look. Um, yeah, some of the places I go at the moment, and there's certainly Compass Worthing. I don't know any of the Compass Worthing routes. The only bit of a route that I do know is the 16, I think it is, in Worthing, or in the bit in Lancing. And yeah, they go down roads that you've no business taking a bus down, really. Google didn't tell me about this traffic. Just as well give myself time to get to work, you know. Um, but yeah, certainly the routes that we do at Compass can be challenging. Um, and the dimensions of the buses aren't actually that different. Um, Apart from the height, obviously, we've got single deck buses, but the majority of our buses, length and width wise, is the same, apart from the one that's on the 16 in Angleton. That's shorter. I don't know why that's shorter, but it goes the same route as 47. So I don't know why it's shorter, but it is. So yeah, I don't know if there's that air of elitism again. Oh, I'm Brighton and Hove. I'm better than you because you work for Compass. Don't know. Um, Pretty much everyone at Compass has once worked for Brighton and Hove, and the routes at Stagecoach as well. Some of those routes, they're pretty challenging as well. The rural routes, like the one up to Midhurst, which I actually quite enjoyed doing, not at night time, sketchy as hell at night, but I enjoyed the one up to Midhurst. And the 9 down to Arundel, that can be quite challenging. But yeah, out of the three companies, in general, from the routes that I've done, Brighton and Hove by far the easiest. Again, it's not all drivers. It's not all drivers. Every company has good and bad drivers. But I have noticed a marked increase in a lack of courtesy towards other drivers from Brighton and Hove. Um, Mainly Lewis Road. It has mainly been Lewis Road, but it has also been Conway Street, who I actually worked for, and a few Whitehall as well. Is it the pressure that the company's putting them under? The pressure of running to time? Who knows? Who knows? That's a nice car. I like that car. But yeah, you'd think the letting the buses out of a bus stop. See, even in the highway code, you're meant to do it. So having bus drivers not letting other buses out of bus stops, like, what are you thinking? Is it self-entitlement? Is it elitism? Arrogance? Who knows? Or is it the pressure of running to time? You're going to slow me down, I need to be in front of you. I mean, I get it. The old Steam at the moment, that is a real mess. It's delaying absolutely everyone. Um, it's taking 20 minutes to get down North Street, even at a quiet time of day. So that adds to the pressure. Hopefully, when it's all finished and they have the proper traffic lights put in, they'll sequence it so that doesn't happen. Um, But I think I mean, it's hard to see how they can improve it because in order to increase the flow down North Street to the Old Steam, they need to keep the lights green for that bit longer. But if they're green for that bit longer, they're red for the buses coming down from the bus lanes towards the Old Steam from London Road, Lewis Road. They're going to be red for longer, so that's going to build up there, and it's already building up there. Um, so, yeah, at the moment, it's looking like the improvements are going to be a big failure. Unless you class creating congestion and a bad bus service improvements. Who knows? Who knows what the council are thinking on that? And obviously, the plans for bringing bus public ownership are still moving forward. It seems to be going very slowly. Like they're taking control, like a little bit at a time. Will things change when that finally happens? Who knows? And what garages will stay? That's another one. Um, they've given planning permission to build on the site that we are currently at. So at some point we're going to have to move. They're flattening Conway Street to make room for more buses. So will we find ourselves there? Possibly. It's a possibility. Um, there's a lot of traffic on the approach to Christmas, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up in the air at the moment. A lot of stuff up in the air. Ugh. I've got a video that I need to put on to the members. I keep forgetting to do it. That's an ADHD thing. I have it in mind, like now I've got it in mind, oh, I've got to do that. I've had it there for weeks. And I still haven't done it. Maybe I should make a note or an alarm or something to remind me to do it on my day off. So I am now a Brighton driver. Moving on. Based at Worthing, but driving the Brighton routes. That's now come to an end. It does mean that I'm losing some money